Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bantz with Lawrencia on Lawrencia TV, a channel that celebrates ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So please subscribe, like, share, and also click on that notification bell to get notified anytime I post a new content. So today's topic, we're going to be talking about planning for the future. Yes, I know a lot of people are afraid to plan for the future, and there was a kind of a comic video going on Instagram of a guy saying, I want to enjoy my life today. I don't care about the future. I just want to enjoy today. The future can take care of itself. It was a very funny video because he was just seated with different assorted meats and pounded yam. To him, that was enjoyment, and he was having fun. And a lot of people reshare that video, and I watched it and I laughed while watching it. And it's funny because we see that as, life is too short. We should enjoy our life as much as we can at the present, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we have just one life to live, and worrying about the future could sound like, oh my god, you're just worrying about the unknown. But I think what we put in place today is going to have an impact on how we live our future tomorrow. I mean, if you're enjoying all those things today and you're not thinking about tomorrow, then you could get to the future or even tomorrow and then you realize you don't even have that luxury anymore. So this is why I think it is important to put things in place. I mean, you don't even have to. People think, oh, when you're talking about planning for the future, you need to have like capital set aside for you to be able to access to plan for the future. But there are certain things you need to put in place today just to ensure, or certain skills you need to learn today just to ensure that you can take care of yourself tomorrow. So I have some bullet points that I want to go through. I came across this on Reddit. Somebody just listed certain things that you need to put in place as a youth, because sometimes I don't want to say 30, 40s, or I don't want to put an age range to being a youth, because people have different times in their life when they achieve different things. You have some people achieve greatness in their 20s, you have some people achieve greatness in their 30s, 40s, some even 50s and 60s. So there's really no time stamp on when you're going to have a better life in the future. But the purpose of this video is just to remind us that we need to put certain things in place to be able to get there. I mean, when you talk about opportunities, people think, oh, you just wake up one day and somebody knocks on your door and say, okay, I'm giving you this amount of money, do this and do that. If you're not prepared to even handle, if you don't have any idea, or you're not even prepared to handle certain things or certain amounts of money, then you're still going to have the opportunity and you're going to mess it up. So putting things in place or doing certain things to ensure that tomorrow, even if you're having opportunities, you can maximize that opportunity and utilize it properly. So, going to the first point. The first point I think is very important is to know your identity, know who you are. I mean, when we talk about identity, we think, oh, it is my name, my family name, how I was born, are you born rich or are you born poor? That is not your identity. Your identity is your core values, what makes you who you are. That is your identity. Your identity is not just your name. When you hear people say, tell me about yourself, you hear people talking about, oh, I was born here, born there, born there. it's all about what happened to them, not really what what they make of themselves. So I think identity is on a basic level, is what you make of yourself or what you think about yourself. That is what identify for me. That is, I think, what identity is all about. So know who you are, know your capabilities, know what you want, know, then set goals and objectives. If it's going to even take you 10 years to achieve any of those things, make sure you're setting goals. Make sure you're setting goals that align with your identity. Make sure that you're putting things in place that tomorrow you're able to easily utilize. So first of all, know who you are, know your identity, and then build your goals and objectives based on your strengths, and try to work on your weaknesses. So that is the first point. The second point, I think, for us to plan for our future is, do not procrastinate. A lot of people procrastinate, and procrastination has to do with, I don't have the resources to do this. I don't have the finance to do certain things, and people just procrastinate. Procrastination is a killer of goals. When you procrastinate, I mean, procrastination, people getting mixed with prioritizing. If you have a plan and you kind of prioritize certain goals ahead of others, you're not really procrastinating. You just, your priorities are, you have priorities in place that are not aligning to maybe somebody else's goals, but you're not really procrastinating. So procrastination is not about who thinks you're procrastinating, it's really you yourself. It's kind of a self-reflective thing, because I might be on a journey of discovering myself or trying to find out my identity of who I am, and somebody thinks, oh, she is just procrastinating certain things. But for me, for my plan, within my plan, I am really just trying to put things in place. So procrastination is, you have to think about what you're procrastinating, and priorities also. So what are you procrastinating to what are you putting at the back burner to do certain things? And if those things that you're prioritizing over other things is not really will not help you in the future, then you need to sit down and kind of tweak your plan to ensure that it aligns with your goals, of things that you want to achieve in the future. So the third point I would like to make is exploring opportunities. A lot of people don't see opportunities. I mean, there are opportunities everywhere. When you talk to people, when you meet new people, when you even talking to a child, sometimes there are opportunities. The opportunity there is to remind ourselves what we wanted when we were children. I mean, you see a lot of people when they were kids, they wanted to do this, do that, do that. But growing up, you see that your parents say, okay, do you have to do this? Or a friend said, well, Jam gave me that. Not, that's not what I want to do, but Jam gave me that. Even if you're being kind of forced to do something that is not what you want to do, you have to explore other opportunities even while you're still doing that thing. For the meantime, make sure that you're doing something that you have different opportunities. You're opportune to meet different people that would give you ideas, that would give you information, that will ensure, that will give you, guide you to the right steps, so that when you actually have opportunities to do something, you have the right information to make an informed decision for you to go ahead and do those things. So find opportunities, you utilize opportunities, and make sure you put yourself in certain places that will give you new ideas, new information to get new opportunities. The next point I will say is do not waste your time. Do not waste your time. So while you're waiting for opportunities, while you're trying to get to that level of where you'd say, okay, this I am at a place where I can now plan for my future, do not waste your time. There are certain things you can always do with limited resources. I mean, you could learn a skill, you could learn a trade, you could do a whole bunch of things. I mean, people always think, when you think about people who don't see opportunities, it is either they are waiting for something to happen before they can do something, thereby sitting down and wasting their time. And you see people, they be like, oh, if it's not this job, if it's not this amount of money, I am not going to do it. What happens is that you spend 5, 10 years waiting for that opportunity. You could have done something else. You could have started with a lesser, let's say, I mean, in Nigeria, let's say you have a minimum wage of 30,000, and you say, if it's not minimum wage, I am not doing that. Well, you could have an opportunity to start there and actually build your way. Somebody can just come where you're working and be like, you can have a conversation with somebody and they say, oh, you graduated from this school, why are you doing this job? People can help you, but if you don't put yourself in certain situations for people to even see and help you, then it's you're just sitting down wasting your time waiting for opportunities where you could create an opportunity for yourself. Not just creating an opportunity for yourself, but creating a platform that will ensure that you're in a better place to have better opportunities. This next point is start investing your finances. I mean, a lot of people, when you hear about finance, they think, oh my God, I need to have a certain amount of money to even think about investments. Investments can be in yourself. You can invest in your skills. You can invest in learning new things. There are so many much more investments other than finances. But yes, you can also invest in finances. I mean, you have to save 1 naira for you to be able to get 2 naira, for you to be able to even get to 5 naira. But people think, oh no, 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 I just have 1 naira. I just want to enjoy my life with this 1 naira. And what will 1 naira do for me? So because I have this 1 naira, let's say $1, or just because I have this $1, there's nothing you can do for me in the future. But if you invest $1, or if you even save $1, if you save $1 today, and in the next, let's say the end of, you're saving $1 per day, and in the next 10 days you have $10. And if you haven't saved that and you're drinking, let's say, fizzy drinks for the next 10 days, you don't have anything. So $1 or 1 naira or £1, it looks like nothing, but the accumulation of those amounts of money, you will see the difference. You will see the major difference. I remember when I wanted to buy a house, I didn't have all the money in place. I remember I was telling some friends that, you know what, I want to get a house. And some of them who know my financial, know my bank account, they were looking at me like, how are you going to do that? But what I did was, I know I didn't have all the money in place. I opened the spreadsheet. I started calculating what I was spending my money on. Sometimes we spend money, we think we don't have money because we're not like tracking what we're spending on. You get money and you spend money, not really tracking your outgoings. So I sat down, I made a spreadsheet, and in a month, I could see where my money was going. Yeah, you could talk about expenses, let's say house rent, you could talk about bills, you could talk about any of those things. Those are standard things that you have to pay. But then again, there are miscellaneous that you're going out every Saturdays and Sundays, or sometimes even Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays, and you're spending money on those things. For me, what I did, what worked for me was have a timeline of what you want to do. Life is to be enjoyed. I like enjoying life, but I had to put myself in a position whereby I understand what I was spending on, and tracking those things and ensuring that I wasn't just spending money. I was also keeping track on where my money was going. So if I don't need something, I don't really buy them. And before you could know, I actually had my deposit. I bought my house, I furnished it, and sometimes I look back and I'm like, how did I even do those things? I don't know. I was able to deprive myself certain things, but now, hey, I'm enjoying all those things. I think when people talk about finances, is they don't want to even deprive themselves of any guilty pleasure. They just want to enjoy life, and which is very good. Life is very good to enjoy, but for you to progressively increase your standard of living, you have to be able to put yourself in situations whereby you have a plan and you be like, okay, for this certain period of time, I am going to deprive myself certain things to get certain things. Once you have a goal, once you have your objective, you will be able to do that regardless of if you have the money in place. As long as you're working, as long as you have income coming in, track your expenses. Once you track your expenses and you know what you're spending your money on, believe me, you will be shocked at how much you will have to invest. So let's start thinking about investments. Let's not think about, oh, I'm a youth now, I don't need to worry about what my finances is going to be in the future. Especially young ladies, you see some of them be like, oh, when I get to my husband's house, we could worry about that together. um some of them get lucky to get married to wealthy people, but put just put be ready for anything. Have your own. You're not allergic to having your own money. You're not allergic to investment. You're not allergic to that. Invest in yourself. Make sure that you have investment in place, and while doing that, enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. The next point I'm going to be making is take it easy. Everything I've said, from financial management, investment, getting opportunities, putting yourself into different positions to get opportunities, trying to save, knowing who you are. All these things, if you have not done it, or if you're still in the process of doing it, take it easy on yourself. Like, life is defined by different stages. Set your goals, set your objectives, and keep it going. Keep it going. Don't stay and wallow in self-pity. Don't look at yourself and be like, oh my God, Mr. A is doing this, Mr. B is doing that, and I am just here. I don't even know what I'm doing. Take it easy on yourself. Everybody have different timelines of their success. You see, most of the successful people, what they do is, no matter which stage they are in, they always ensure that they are growing, they are progressing. So when it hits you, when it eventually hits you, you're prepared. You're prepared in every way to receive that, to multiply that, and to sustain it, because you hear 15 minutes of fame. It's not just 15 minutes of fame, they also have 15 minutes of success. So 15 minutes of success, you have all this, most times monetary or financial success, and you don't know what to do with it, and it just vanish. So while we're taking it easy on ourselves, I think it is very important that we have no regret. Don't regret anything. No matter how you want to look at life, you've always, it's a lesson. It is a lesson. So just take your L if you have to, and keep it moving. Just keep it moving. So let us plan for the future. Let us not think we're just here, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But what if you live to see that future? What quality of life are you going to be living then? So let's always have that in mind. But even when we're doing all those things, let us enjoy this present. Let us enjoy the present. Let us make sure that we are free to understand that we're planning for the future, but we are also living in the present. So live in the moment, enjoy the moment, but also have it at the back of your mind that as you're enjoying this moment, you're moving to the future. You're also going to move to the future, and you're going to get there, and the quality of life you're going to live there will determine what you do today. Thank you very much for watching today's episode of Planning for the Future. So please subscribe, like, share, and also click on that notification bell to get notified anytime I post a new content. Or if you want to send me an email, you can send me an email at admin@didelorentv.com, or you can leave us a comment at the comment section. I am happy to read your comments. And thank you very much for watching today's episode. See you same time next week. Bye bye.